Everyone, and thank you for attending the Amazon Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to Kimberlo. She will tell you about their company, job openings, and how to apply for those job openings.
Hello, welcome to Amazon hiring event. So main thing is, first of all, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for your time. I know it's precious. I'm going to give you some information on applying for Amazon warehouse positions. At the current time, we are hiring all over the Chicagoland area and surrounding areas, Joliet, Crete, just to name a few. I'll go into the shifts so you can have kind of an explanation of what a day is like at Amazon. Keep in mind that these positions that we are hiring for right now are direct hire positions. That means they're not temporary positions. Once you get the job, you will work for Amazon and get all of the perks and things that Amazonians get. Our first shift selection is our full-time shifts. Now, our full-time shifts are 10-hour-a-day shifts, 4 days a week. Now, our shifts change. Here is a very good secret. If you want to know what shifts we have, they update every Saturday morning. So you can go on the site if you don't see anything that goes with your schedule, check back next Saturday morning. So the full-time shifts, again, are 10 hours a day, 4 days a week. And of course, those days could vary. We also have sometimes mandatory and voluntary overtime offered. Your second selection would be a part-time shift. That shift is minimum 20 hours a week. Now, it's a variety of shift selections for that. We have days, we have nights, and we have Saturday and Sunday. So it just kind of depends on what site you want to work at. That will be explained to you when you apply. The best part, and the most important, is the pay rate. For our full-time shifts, they start off at $15 an hour and can go up to $16.15 an hour right now. For our part-time shifts, it varies on location. So depending on what location you select, you can find out exactly what the pay rate would be there. The next thing I'm going to tell you is the easiest way to apply at Amazon. I break it down in 3 steps. The first thing, and I'm sure you'll get the link, the first thing is go to amazon.force, that's with an F.com. So when you go to amazon.force, you go there and you fill out the application. Make sure you fill out the application to its entirety, because if you don't, it can slow down the process. A little assessment, answer all the questions, and then we start our I-9 process through email. So make sure you pay attention to your email, because that's the way we will be communicating with you. You fill out the I-9 forms that will be emailed to you, and then you'll get a scheduled appointment to come to Amazon. When you come to Amazon, you merely bring 2 forms of ID. This is for the completion of your I-9. Most people just bring a social security card and a valid photo ID. Very easy process, right to the point. Our dress code, very casual, 10-hour shifts, a lot of movement. I worked in the warehouse, so if you have any questions about that, movement all the time. The only thing is no open-toe shoes, and of course, that's for your safety and the safety of others. Also, hair can't be worn if you have long hair, we do ask that you tie it up. And again, that is for your safety. So I am going to open up for anybody who has any questions. If anybody didn't hear the shifts or anything like that, just ask me. I can go over that again halfway through the session. So we'll open it up for any questions anybody has.
What about students like myself? Because I have school in Monday and Wednesday. Can I be able to work that around?
Absolutely. If I was you, my advice would be to definitely go to amazon.force. check out the shift selections that we have, because you said you go to school Monday and Wednesday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, we have different shifts that are inclusive of Saturdays and Sundays. So every Saturday morning, I would start to check that to see where you want to be and what shifts we have. But absolutely, definitely, I'm sure you could find a shift to work around that.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Also, I want to let you know, when you do start working and you have a commitment like school or something like that, or even maybe find another opportunity, just make sure that you're in good standing, leave correctly, and then you can always come back.
And Kimberla, can you explain how you are handling COVID safety precautions for everyone?
Absolutely, good question. In the warehouse, I know that they were and probably still are doing temperature. They are practicing social distancing, so they will go over all of that in orientation. And I know that they have a sanitation practice. So they've changed certain things. One thing is we don't have orientation anymore, where everybody's in a big room and you learn what you do. All of that will be done first day. So we've cut that out. So everything will be explained to you, the processes and what you need to do to maintain those safety precautions in the warehouse.
Thank you. And can you elaborate a little bit more on what type of background checks are performed?
Absolutely. So it's a basic background check. I know that it goes back 7 years, working with merchandise, different things like that. So that's why they do the background check. 7 years is the goal, but it's just your basic background check. I know that it doesn't offend you for anything like traffic or any minor offense or anything like that. And it usually takes about, depending on your background check, 7 to 14 days to like start working and be hired after you apply. So the background check does come back in like 3 to 5 days, pretty quickly. Yeah.
Thank you, Kimberla. And do the employees or the applicants need to have a GED or high school diploma?
Not at the time. That was a requirement, but I know that 18 years is a requirement. Sometimes it changes center to center, but when you apply, that will be stipulated.
And how are you with opportunities for promotions and pay raises?
That as far as the pay raises go, so once you get hired, you will be an Amazonian. So they will go over pay raises and benefits. I know that benefits do start day one. They'll be able to explain that to you first day in orientation. It was a second part to that question. What was it?
Promotions.
Promotions, that will be explained to you also. I can tell you the great thing about Amazon is that you can move around. I love companies that give you an opportunity if you stay in good standing and you want to move to a different state. So they have a lot of opportunities. And also they have opportunities for other career services, nursing, different things like that. So that all will be explained to you in orientation. Excellent question.
And do you guys provide accommodations for people that have disabilities?
Absolutely. And that is a question on the application. So just make sure that you read it and answer it to the best of your ability. But yes, we do.
And do your positions require the applicant to possess a valid driver's license?
State ID, as long as you have a school ID. So 2 forms of identification, like I said, a valid photo identification. Some people don't drive, they have state IDs. And most people just usually bring a social security card.
Thank you, Kimberla. And then could you elaborate a little bit more on how an applicant might be able to stand out amongst the crowd?
Absolutely. So I worked in the warehouse, and some of the main points that you want to do is that production. You know, it's Amazon. People want their product and they want quality. So it's a numbers game when you work in the warehouse. So time management is very important, such as being to work on time, coming back to your break on time, coming back to your lunch on time, because everything is time. The trucks have to go out at a certain time. Everything has to be shipped at a certain time. So that's the main thing. And definitely build a rapport with management. Let them know that you're interested in different things. Always keep up with the website, amazon.force.com. Internally, it will, and they'll tell you more in orientation. There'll be certain things and certain sites you can go on in order to improve your knowledge. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kimberly. And I just want to remind everyone here that if you guys have any questions, you can either type them into the chat section or you can unmute yourselves and go ahead and just ask them directly.
So just to review real quick for anybody who came in, amazon.force.com is where you go apply, easy process, fill out the application to its entirety. After that, you'll get an email about your I-9, fill out that to its entirety. After that, we'll schedule you an appointment and you will come up to Amazon and complete the process. You should be working in approximately 7 to 14 days.
Sorry about that, Kimberly. Can you also elaborate a little bit more as far as the holidays that the employees would have off there?
I know that they recognize 2 holidays at this moment. I believe it's Christmas and New Year's Day. As far as the overtime and everything like that, that will be listed to you in orientation. But they do recognize holidays. Those 2 days, I believe that they're going to start. So that can change as the year goes out, but they do recognize holidays. Absolutely. But and that's funny because that's a very important time for Amazon. Someone else was asking about standing out. One thing that I also want to mention is peak time. Peak time is very, very important. Of course, it's around Christmas time. I believe it might start right there before Thanksgiving. A lot of overtime. That's usually when the mandatory overtime is. And it's good money at that time of the year. But that's another way to stand out, be very productive during peak time.
Excellent. Thank you, Kimberly. And could you talk a little bit more about what someone might expect working in a warehouse?
Good question. So it was my first time working in a warehouse, and I compare it kind of to the post office. No chairs, so it's constant moving, but it's great exercise. Warehouses are huge, and you will learn your way all around the warehouse. Some of the important things that were important to me personally is staying dehydrated because it's like exercising. So you definitely want to stay dehydrated. Time goes very fast also. That's the good thing about it, especially when you work those 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week with 3 days off. I usually always worked overtime.
More like,
Hey,
oh, I'm sorry. So is it like more manual labor? And
when
oh, I'm
you,
sorry, the internet's really
no,
bad. I'm sorry.
you're
There's
fine. I think I heard your question, is it more manual labor? I would say it's warehouse work. It is labor. It's picking, it's sorting. Here's a good thing too. When you do go over the application, they ask you about what you're willing to work and they give you a description of all of the different departments you could work in. So as far as the strength, I believe it's 45 pounds you want to be able to lift. However, I never had an issue, anything that I couldn't lift, someone was always there in order to assist me. So I would say it's labor because you're moving all the time. You definitely are picking up packages all the time, constant moving in a warehouse.
all right. That's fine. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Kimberly, as
Yes.
far as the positions that you have open and available, and more specifically for this posting, are there other positions that these individuals might be able to apply to, such as like any positions that might be administrative or perhaps in a corporate office, or is it strictly just for the warehouse?
So right now, the mass hiring is for that warehouse, which is a great way to start and move your way around other places. Like I said, that's where I started. So that's the mass hiring right now. However, if you're ever looking for any other opportunity in any other sectors of Amazon, I would encourage you to go to amazon.force.com because that's where they're posted all of the positions. You can also go to the staffing agency that staffs for Amazon, which is integritystaffing.com also. So hopefully those two platforms would help you.
Excellent, thank you. And for anyone that might have entered the meeting late, again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and either enter them into the chat section or you can unmute yourselves and ask them directly to Kimberly. Well, I do not have any other questions coming in. So unless there's anything else that you'd like to bring up, Kimberly, before we conclude, I guess I can go ahead and do so.
Absolutely not. I just want to wish everybody to be safe and much success. And don't forget the website is amazon.force.com. Put in your location, where you are, how far you're willing to travel, and check out some of the opportunities that we have to get people employed. Thank you.
Kimberly,
Yes,
can you say that staffing agency once again, please?
Integrity Staffing.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
my pleasure.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone again for attending this virtual job fair. You can find the employer booth on the Illinois WorkNet virtual job fair page. And also, a recording of this webinar will be posted on that page later today. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.